cut the other video because I had an important call. I wasn't sure if I could be on the call and the live stream at the same time, and the other thing is I didn't really want to be on the phone call and have that phone call be going out live on the stream, so I had to take care of that. And then I ran into this really, really gnarly rainstorm coming around the bottom side of the Salt Lake out here. Looks like I might be coming out of it here soon, but we'll see. We'll see what the day brings.
Several times and slowed down and forced me to have to pass him again. And if you don't want to be behind a semi-truck, at least stay doing a speed above them if you pass them. You know, don't pass them and slow back down to less than what the semi-truck was already doing. It don't make any sense. An 18-month is a handful, and you know what your duty is as a grandparent. You get them all amped up, get them all sugared up, give them all new noisy toys, and send them home. couple of paw prints, and somebody else saw them, threw a little tyrant in the comments, and then immediately deleted them. I only got to read about half of what he said before he deleted what he typed in. Yeah. So everybody should start leaving paw prints everywhere. I think that would be awesome. Leave the paw prints and the little piglets and the rocket ships and you know, leave those all over the place. All the way to the floor. She's doing the best she can, right? Yep, those paw prints signify that we've already been there. We've already been there. They don't really have a black wolf emoji, so the black paw prints. There you go. We've already been there. You got here after we did. That's what that kind of means. He's going to come across, and I'm going to have to go back over because now I'm speeding up. Because now we're going downhill in an 80-mile-an-hour zone, right? So much of this between here and Reno, you know, the scenery you're seeing right now. This is practically what it's about. This is about what it's going to look like most of the day, as far as the scenery. So I'm kind of glad that the majority of the stretch is actually 80 miles an hour. Because if it was still 55, 60, like it's going to be perfectly clear skies, but we should come out of the somewhere between 500,000 and a million motorcycles. And it's my understanding that they will also have a couple dozen hearses with them in memoriam to the people that we lost during the whole thing going on the last year and a half, 2 years. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm gonna see if I can catch some live streams after the fact, you know. See how that goes for the day. Yep. Well, it is Memorial Weekend, so you know everybody. I'm gonna have safe travels. I hope so, and I hope everybody else does too. I hope everybody stays nice and safe, arrives to and from where they're going and what they're doing, and has fun doing so without any mishaps. I really do. Great. I hope you have fun. Good, clean, safe fun. Yeah, I already told everybody, you know, I typically prefer not to be out on the road during a holiday week, or weekend, but circumstances that have happened means I've got to keep going. So I'm running. About that supposed shooting down in Texas. Got a long response and officers show up and run right into the guy, right? And they back out and wait for SWAT team for another 45 minutes. The officers that arrived first that ran into him could have stopped everything right then and there. They didn't have to wait for SWAT. That's a lot of red flags right there that scream that something's not right. The fact that he's a 18-year-old, 19-year-old, I think they said he was 18, you know, and going into a grade school to do all that, that doesn't add up either. Everything about it just tells me deep down in my bones that it was a false flag event. And like I said last night, you know, it's kind of funny how we have these mass shootings all of a sudden, always in an election year leading up to the election, whether it's the midterms or the regular election. You know, it's just baffling how that seems to happen, isn't it? Lost everybody going up over that hill. I don't go into a truck stop, I do my laundry. I use my military. I use one of my military duffels, you know, my old army duffel. I take it in there, do the laundry. When it comes out of the dryer, it gets all shoved right back in the bag, and then I just, you know, pick and choose my clothes every day slowly out of the bag until there's nothing left, and then shove it all back in the bag and go in and do my laundry again. Well, you know, this is high desert out here. This is high desert, so they do need rain, but the thing about it is, it doesn't matter how much rain falls here. It never will change from being a desert, because the ground, the water just soaks right through it really fast. This is good. This is good open range livestock. You know, big cattle herds and stuff like that. That's about, you know, big ranches and stuff. That's about what you're gonna find out here. And believe it or not, they get just as much rain out here as anywhere else in the country. So, like I said, even if it rained here all the time, instead of intermittently, it wouldn't make a difference. Just about every desert is sort of green in the springtime, but once we hit summer, this is all going to be starch yellow or sandy colored. You know, it'll definitely be so dry come midsummer, and it'll be that way all the way until next spring. So they're claiming that kid had bought $5,000 worth of guns, or that the gun he had was $5,000 worth. Is that counting 1, 2, 3 guns, and the ammunition, or what? You know, it's kind of odd, but you know, I can walk into any gun store right now, and more than half of the rifles and stuff are going to be, you know, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a piece. And if you ask how the kid got the money, well, you know, a lot of kids today are spoiled in a lot of ways, but also any kid that actually has a job of any kind can easily make that kind of money in a short amount of time, especially when they're still living at home and don't have any bills to pay. Thank you. I was hoping people liked that interview with X-Ray. You know, I wasn't sure that I did very good, but from the feedback I keep getting, I guess I did. You know, I never thought that I'd be any good at doing live stream or being interviewed or anything like that. You know, I guess you never know until you know, right? is really tiny from where I'm sitting, so it's hard. I have to really lean forward to be able to read it in the first place. And those emojis are so small. Where did he get the truck when he didn't have a driver's license? Well, maybe from family or friends, or stole it, you know. Having grown up on a small farm in the middle of nowhere myself, I had access to every vehicle we had. We had, you know, the tractors and the combine, the swather, all of the big farm trucks. We had the pickups, we had the cars, we had the motorcycles. I had access to all of those, and I had practically been driving almost all of them. You know, and when I was in the middle of my teens, I was always gone somewhere. You know, I'd be 13 years old driving out into town in the pickup or something like that to go take care of business and back out. You know, from what it sounds like, using a family vehicle or a farm vehicle, or just a vehicle he came across that was sitting there with keys in it or something. Who knows? I mean, that's not something that can be considered a red flag for a possible false flag. But I mean, vehicles are too easily accessible to everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're 5 years old. I know there's no point. Smells like money. And they're running empty. Oof. No wonder they're traveling just under the speed limit. When they're empty, they run just a little under the speed limit, but when they're loaded, it's hard to keep up with them at all. Scroll back down here. Well, I'm glad you all liked that interview. I really am. You know? Kind of a little apprehensive about it, you know what I mean? I wasn't sure if I would be any good. I wasn't sure how things would go, and you know, got the butterflies in the stomach the whole time. You know, but once he showed up, once I got parked and saw him coming across the lot at me, and you know, it all just kind of melded into, you know, this is what we're doing now. And it was really good that it was him, because you know, I'm really comfortable with him. You know, knowing him in the first place, I think that really helped a lot. Can't say that I actually know who he really is, because I don't. I mean, how much do you really know about somebody that, you know, you meet in a convoy movement? say how long it took him to get it. Also, I don't live in Texas, so I don't know how long it takes in Texas. Every state is different. The state that I am in, I do have a concealed carry permit, so I walk in, I look at the gun I want, I fill out the background check. 5 minutes later, the background check comes back, and I put the money on the counter and walk away with the gun that I bought. So, you know, the thing is that the background check means everything, and there isn't a single state in this country that does not require the background check, no matter what. Okay, every state requires it, and that background check is run by the ATF, which is attached through the Federal Bureau of Investigation and all of that. So anything that would be a red flag of any kind, any criminal history, it's all on your files. When they look you up, when they see your application come through, your background check come through, they look it all up. If there is nothing that can legally stop them from allowing you to purchase, then there's nothing that they can do. But that being said, nobody can go into a regular gun store and just buy a gun that isn't legally allowed to have one in the first place. Nobody can do that. It's not possible. Not with the way the background check is set up. You know, you can lie on the background check all you want. They catch it and they deny it. It'll come back not approved, and or it'll come back with a hold weight on it, so you got to wait for 3 to 5 days or something. And in that time, they'll be investigating even further, and they'll figure out the lie and they'll deny it, and that person will not be allowed to purchase that gun from that gun store, period. So anybody that's using guns in crimes, or anybody that's already a criminal and has guns and they use them or whatever, they acquired them illegally in the first place. They didn't get them from a gun store. They didn't get them from a gun show either, because gun shows are required to do the background checks too. You know, when you got people out there screaming, we need more restrictions, we need more laws on the guns to prevent this from happening. You can't write any laws to prevent these things from happening, because these people are acquiring them illegally. You know, I mean, so somebody down the street gets their house broken into and their guns get stolen, and then 3 months later that gun had now changed, a gun from that robbery has changed hands maybe a dozen times and ends up in the hands of somebody that commits a horrid crime, and there you have it. You know, how do you stop that? How do you pass laws and restrictions on law-abiding citizens and gun stores that would stop that? You can't. There is nothing that can stop that. If a criminal wants to get a gun, he's going to get a gun. I just wish that it was not possible, but no matter what, it's going to be. There's nothing we can do to stop that. There's no law you can make that will stop that. Because even if they were to turn around and ban guns in this country completely, like we've seen in other countries, the criminals will still have guns. They will still get them. They will still have them come across the borders, you know, the whole nine. You know, you're going to take guns away from the legal citizens so they can't protect themselves. Okay, now you just put everybody in this country at an extreme risk, because now the only people other than, you know, law enforcement and the military that will have guns at that point would be the criminals. us all scared. They want us all sitting at home afraid and scared and defenseless. That's what it comes down to. Chris, to get to that question there for you for the livestock haulers. Okay, so here's how it works. They're trying to conserve fuel and not get a speeding ticket. When they don't have livestock on board. When they have livestock on board, they're going a lot faster because livestock are money. The more so say it, hypothetically, let's talk about cow, right? Just one cow. Say that the farmer loads this cow up at 1,200 pounds. The cow weighs 1,200 pounds. He just had a full meal, and now you've got to pick up that cow and drive it from there to the slaughterhouse or to the auction house or whatever, okay? Wherever they're taking that cow for sale, right? When that cow gets there, it will be weighed in. Okay? The amount of money you get for that cow is based on its weight. Now that cow is full of food and liquids when it is picked up by the truck. The longer it is on the truck, the more it will, use the bathroom. The more it uses the bathroom, the lighter it gets, which means the less money it is worth. That's how it's done. So the faster they get that cow there, the more money that cow will be worth. Also, the faster they get that cow there, the better it is for the cow itself. So that's another thing, the health and well-being of that cow, right? And that's also why you almost never see a police officer with a livestock hauler that has a loaded trailer full of livestock pulled over on the side of the road. You'll see them pulled over on the side of the road all the time when they don't have livestock, when they're empty. But the officers, and they have livestock on board, they give them a quick verbal warning and let them go, for the most part. That's usually how it is, because the second the officer pulls over a loaded livestock trailer, the officer is now 100% liable for the livestock on board. That unless you're in the industry, having grown up on a farm, I learned that at an early age. But the common people out here in the rest of the world, they don't know that. Yeah. right. It is extremely odd how many people that were fully armed and, you know, were officers of the law, whether they were sheriffs or border patrol or local police, doesn't matter. They're all standing outside doing nothing, waiting for SWAT to show up. Sorry. I would have been one of the first people to go running in there and take the kid down. You know, I wouldn't kill him, or I'd try not to, but I would take him down and then stop the situation and bring everything to a close as quickly as possible if I could. You know, if I was there, I wouldn't hesitate. That's another thing that makes me think about this is a false flag thing, because I don't know anybody who could stand there and stomach that, knowing what's going on, while you're sitting there with the means to actually stop it. You got an auction house up the street, huh? Do they get loud enough you can hear the auction announcer going 40, 45, 50, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, and now 55? Yeah. Can you hear that? From your house? Used to deliver frozen chickens in crates. But you know, if he's hauling chickens in the wintertime, I can see how they got frozen in the crate. But if it's in the summertime and they're frozen, that's then they were already slaughtered. So there's no hurry, there's no race to get them anywhere. They've already been frozen. But if they were alive when you pick them up and it's middle of winter and they get frozen on the way there, that's a different story. And that's why a lot of times in the wintertime, you won't really see that many livestock trucks out there at all. Because, you know, it's not good for the animals to be hauled in that kind of weather. Stuff that you see kind of off the road to the right, those are the salt flats. Right now it's soggy, and it's going to be that way until around the, you know, when we start coming towards August, it turns into a dry, crusty, salty topped hard pack, you know. So you if you ever watch the races and the drags and everything, and the high the testing for what vehicle, you know, land speed record stuff, that's all done out here at the Salt Flat Raceway, which is off to my right. You can't see it from here visibly, but it's out there. There's also a lot of, like, NASA does some testing out there. The experimental aircraft engines get tested out there, because it's hundreds of miles long, from the mountains ahead all the way. It's hundreds and hundreds of miles long that way. No, it's probably about 200 miles long-ish, I would estimate, before they would start running out. Salt flats, that's off to my right. Matter of fact, I do believe the next and only real up to ahead, other than a rest area, is the exit you would to the Bonneville Salt Flat Raceway. riverbed will look, you know. It's pretty interesting, and it's fun to drive on, I'll tell you that. You don't have to apologize. I understand that you got to go watch the 1776, you know, and bring back information, you know. Let us know what's going on over there. Since I'm live streaming, I can't really get over there, and you know, if people want to pop back and forth and keep us informed, that'd be great. And that's not just for the 1776 rally. That's for any of the rallies, any of the stuff that you're going. Go ahead and pop back in every once in a while and let us know what you're seeing and how things are going. And enjoy yourself, by the way. Enjoy yourself. Have fun, you know. Yes, I'm going to have to go through a truck wash to get the salt off the truck from when I was back there further, and in that big rainstorm the salt was coming up on top of the water that was sitting on top of the road. So the truck is right now thoroughly covered in salt. No, that's actually the Bonneville Salt Flats. We're in the Bonneville Salt Flat area. That's not snow, Violet. I think that's Violet. Yeah, that's Violet. Yeah, no, that's the Bonneville Salt Flats. And it's going to get... See, the closer... We're going up in elevation the whole time we're driving. And the closer we're getting toward the mountains, the drier it's getting. Because the ground is actually... You know, the water level, the water table under the ground here is getting lower and lower and lower. So the top dries out quicker. Saw these little black specks out in the white area of the salt flats. Those are actually cars out there and people out there. People are out there driving around and, you know, having fun, taking pictures out there. You know, there's people out there exploring it. So lick the salt off. So would a horse. So, anybody got any exciting plans for this weekend? I'll be in Reno later today. Technically, I've got to go to Fernley, Nevada to deliver this load on Tuesday because they aren't open during the holiday weekend. So basically, I'm going to be sitting from the time I get in there to the time I deliver by a couple days, and so at least least I do get some of the weekend to sit and do nothing, as far as when it comes to, driving, so that I'm not actually having to be out in the holiday traffic too much. But, Fernley's like 30-40 miles before Reno, and I'm just going to go straight into Reno, and then I'll be sitting there until Tuesday morning, and at that point I'll go out and I'll deliver my load, move on to the next load. As far as what I'm going to do in Reno, I don't know. What happens in Reno stays in Reno, right? Computer work? Oh. You got to get out and do something. You can't just sit on your computer the whole weekend. Good for you, silly. Good for you. Good for you. I'm glad that there's people like you out there that still do that. Veterans may be gone, but they're not forgotten. As long as they're not forgotten by people like you, by people like me, we do what we can, The sacrifices made for this country, for the Constitution, and for the people of this country. Nobody should ever forget those sacrifices. There you go. There's a good sign right there. Read it. Read the sign. Read the sign. Bonneville Speedway, exit number 4. Yup. Now, is the scale house open? No. Good. I can just drive straight through. Flashing lights, but my little pre-pass will tell me here in a minute when I'm good to go, or if I have to pull in, or if it doesn't say anything. Let's see what it says once I go underneath this thing. It said nothing, so that means I'm good to go. Oh, they barriered it off. I guess they're probably gonna remodel it then, if that's what they've just done. Or they're working on, yeah, they tore the scale out of the ground. They're gonna put a new one in. They're doing it on the other side too, both, okay. Both scale houses, eastbound and westbound. Yes, if you have descendants that were on the Mayflower, you can join the DAR. As a matter of fact, I have descendants that were on the Mayflower. So I think my daughter can join the DAR. I think my wife can too. We'll see. I haven't really looked too much into it. I mean, it would be nice. It would be this. I would be the sons of grocery stores and houses and stuff like that. But here you can see the big casinos. That's because they are on the Nevada side of the line. We are literally crossing that line in a second. One part of Wendover cannot have any casino stuff at all, and the rest of it does. Boom. And you can see the hill I'm about to be climbing. Still an awful lot of gold out here being dug up out of the ground. Most of it's already been purchased up, the property and the rights to the gold underneath. Most of it's already been purchased up by these super huge companies. So, you know, we've got these super huge mines going on out here in places. So it's just amazing that there's still that much gold available to be found and dug up. But the sad part is giant companies own almost all of it. A couple of places throughout this run today where I'll crest the top of a mountain and you'll see for miles. It'll look like there's a small, tiny little town down there near the bottom of the mountain, down in the distance. But by the time I get there and I'm going through that town, it doesn't look anywhere near as small as what it looked like when you were up at the top. Climb up the hill. He's probably empty as fast as he's going. No, it's not too cool. It's not too cool. Right now it's 61 degrees. But that's because we've got this storm overhead today. Yesterday it was like 80, 90 degrees through here. And it's always going to be, it's going to be pretty much, the scenery you're seeing right now is going to be pretty much the same kind and the same color all the way to Reno. Except when we get to the tops of some of these mountains. When we're climbing some of these mountains, we do get into some tree area, you know. Not much. I mean, this is a high desert, so there's really not going to be much green that really grows out here. Top of the hill, 36 miles an hour. Yay! Now we're speeding up again. Behind me, That's everybody. Take a look at this speed limit sign coming up. That one there is for the interstate and US highway marker. This one coming up is the speed limit sign right here. What does that say? 80 miles an hour. Fun. And the Pacific time zone sign. Yay! I'm back in my neck of the woods. I'm back in my time zone. So if you are on the East Coast, I am now 3 hours behind you. Because it is... well, I don't know if my GPS changed its time yet, but my GPS is saying it's 11:03. Supposed to do it automatically, so I wasn't paying attention a minute ago. Yep, you got that right, Eric. 10-4 lane 2. Making me feel like X-Ray's sitting right next to me right here. Or he's on my radio, right? I got sideswiped on both sides of my truck at the same time. I never left my lane. Dash cam showed that, but the officer on scene still pinned the ticket on me. And the way California does their traffic law stuff in court, you attend court by mail. You don't actually go to court. You attend court by mail. And they still held in court, they still held the judgment against me as being at fault, even though I never left my lane and I had been sideswiped by the vehicles on both sides of me at the same time. How is that? If I don't leave my lane, how am I at fault for the guy on my right hitting me or the guy on my left hitting me? You know, it doesn't make sense. Weeds for fun, huh? I know a lot of people are busy pulling weeds this weekend. This would be a good weekend to get out there and tend to your gardens, yeah? it'd be nice when you're watching other people's live streams, just go ahead and leave a few paw print emojis for me, huh? Doesn't matter whose live streams you're watching. Just drop the paw prints, letting people know we were there. Availability to appeal it, especially when the only court you're really attending is through the mail. Yeah, see, that's the thing. The court found me at fault for the accident as far made contact on, but the insurance company was able to win on that end, on that aspect. The insurance company was able to win solely through the video. My insurance company didn't have to pay out anything. Well, you're talking about California, Wanda. Of course it was a money grab. There we go. Yeah, see, judges are not supposed to be able to make decisions like that. They're not. They're supposed to be completely impartial, and that is why, I mean, that right there, what you just said there, Gail, that is exactly why our judicial system is just broken in this country. Broken. When he who has more money and power can get away with murder, or a judge can turn around and decide, well, she's an old lady and you're not, so you're the one that's getting the ticket even though that's just wrong. And that is something that we need as people to stand up and strive to make change for. You know, we need to bring about the change. Santa just went live. If any of y'all go over there, leave a lot of paw prints for me, would you? Did you have the ability did you have the ability to appeal it, Gail? Could you have appealed it? I know it probably would cost you more money and on a lawyer and everything to go to appeals, but were you able to try to appeal it if you wanted to? On this hill, I have seen the American antelope. I've seen ram on this hill. I've also seen elk out here. And I've seen some cougars too. I used to love seeing a cougar because they were always fast enough. You know, they'd run across the highway fast enough ahead of you that, you know, you'd see them, but, you know, you wouldn't be in any danger of actually hitting them, you know. But then last summer, I hit one out in eastern Oregon. Middle of the night, came around a curve, and bam, it was right there. That's why the hood of my truck is blue, because I had to buy a used hood to fix. So the cougar did enough damage to the hood that over a little bit of time, over the next few months after, the mounts where the hinges mount to the hood broke away. So I ended up not able to open my hood for a while until I could find one. I couldn't get a new one anywhere because of all the restrictions for truck is green. So, and then I've got that motorcycle box built on the frame right behind the cab that's all black colored, and you know, so my truck kind of looks like a Frankenstein truck coming down the highway. Or a rat rod truck maybe, I don't know. Eventually, when I get myself dug out of this little financial hole here, especially if the fuel prices come down and the freight rates go up, I'll be able to put the whole truck back to one color or multiple colors. I've actually been really thinking about getting it wrapped instead of painted. And if I wrap it, I'm going to be very patriotic about it. but you know, you really have to decide, was it worth it? Would it be worth it to battle it, to spend the extra money? You know, and for a lot of people, including myself, it's principle. For something like that, I gotta stand up and fight it no matter what, just out of principle. You know. So I'm glad you did that, Gail, and you know, because they think they can do these things to people and just continually get away with it because nobody's going to challenge them on it, right? Because what are you? You're just a small single person against the court system or against whatever. Like any of these movements going against the politicians for the decisions they're making. You're just a small little peon. What can you do about it? Well, guess what? The more peons that come back and say, hey, no, this is wrong, the more likely it is they're going to realize they don't control it. They don't have the power, and what they did was wrong. You know, that's why we need so many people in this country to put the keyboards down and stand up. Get out, be seen, be heard, be loud, and do it peacefully. You know, that's the biggest key, is do it peacefully. Even something as small as a ticket that shouldn't have been yours, or you know, a point on your license. You know, challenge those things, especially when they're wrong. Challenge them and force the issue. You know what I mean? So we're in Nevada, crossing the high desert. It's going to be mountain range after mountain range after mountain range, all the way to Reno. I hope you guys are enjoying the scenery, because I sure do love it when I drive through here. Boring, but I do love it. It doesn't matter where you are in nature, when you can see so much of nature in one shot without skyscrapers and houses and warehouses and all kinds of man-made stuff in the way. You know, it's just jaw-dropping when you don't have all the city instead of, you know, this is just beautiful to me. I don't really understand how people can like living in concrete forests. You know, when I was younger, I thought moving to the big city, yeah, we're gonna have more job opportunities. It's gonna be better, and there's gonna be a lot more stuff, and you know, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a wonderful time. And after having done so and lived in a big city for so long, for the last 10, 15 years or more even, I've just wanted to get back out into the country. Get back out to being a farm boy again. You know, I can't stand living in a city. I love it when Big D gets that fire truck out there. Is Rat Rod still with him? That's the one thing I haven't seen. I didn't notice whether Rat Rod was over there with the 1776 restoration. days though where you feel like, there are days when you're driving across here that you feel like nobody should be out here at all, and then, that's when it's really storming. The wind is blowing so hard you can't see anything because it's just ripping the dust. I've driven through here on some days where I couldn't even see my spot mirror. I'll zoom out a little bit. So you see my spot mirror down there on the bottom corner of the hood. There's days I've driven through here where there was so much dust blowing through the air, you couldn't see the mirror. Misconception there, Gail. People don't realize you do not have to go to law school to become a lawyer. You don't. You don't have to go to school to become a lawyer at all. You can actually go and study it all yourself and go and take the bar exam yourself, and if you pass the bar exam, you're a lawyer. You don't have to go to school for it. You don't have to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to learn how to be a lawyer. You can go to the public library and you can check out all the books you need to study up for the bar exam. You take and pass the bar exam and bam, you're a lawyer. Bet you didn't know that. I'll bet almost everybody in here didn't know that. And that's how you get a lot of these guys that have been in prison for a long time become jailhouse lawyers, right? Well, and when they get released back into the real world after jail, they actually become real lawyers. Well, that's how they do it. They study it, they pass the bar, they don't go to school for it. It's just interesting how they've got everybody so programmed that in order to do anything in this world, you have to go to school to learn how to do it. You don't. You can learn so much on your own, and as long as you follow all the rules and regulations and guidelines about it, on how to get licensed in it or get your certificates or whatever, i.e. like in the case of the legal system, becoming a lawyer, you go and take the bar exam and pass it. You pass it, you're a lawyer. But they've got everybody so brainwashed into thinking they have got to go to school and spend thousands and thousands of dollars to do it. In order to become whatever it is that they want to become. You don't necessarily have to do that. Not unless you're really looking to go and be employed by the #1 top law firms in the country, because then they want to see what college you went to. But if you want to just be a private practice attorney for yourself, and not really be part of a big law firm. And there's a lot of small law firms all over the country that don't care what college you went to, or if you went to college. The only thing they care about is the fact that you're a lawyer and what your track record is. Yes, you need the license, but you don't have to go to school to get the license. You see what I'm saying? It's like, the way I would say in the trucking industry, because back when I first started driving truck, really all I had to do was have my driver's license. And then I got a permit for the Class A size CD trucks, and then I went and passed all the tests, and I had my CDL. But in 1992, they changed a lot of that to now you literally do have to go to a training school of some kind, have 160 training hours minimum before you can actually go and test for your CDL. So regulation that they handed down on that. Basically, they made it so that you actually have to go to a school. The cheapest I've ever heard of a school for getting your CDL in the country here is $1,000, and you go to pay for the course. Is about the cheapest I've seen, and that doesn't even guarantee that you'll actually get your CDL. That you're going to be in the course and you're going to take the course, and you never know, you may not pass. Hey, I blew my radiator over there. in my last truck, I blew my radiator just right a little bit behind us here. I had to pull off on that ramp there on my old Kenworth. It was pitch dark out that night up the hill, and blew the radiator, and all I could the steam from the coolant, I could not see anything, not even inside my own cab. I couldn't see the tip of my nose. It steamed up so quick. And I was just lucky to be able to get it off the road without being, without wrecking the truck. I did end up with one set of wheels off of my trailer was in a ditch. I did have to have a tow truck come out and get me from try to climb this mountain with a blown radiator, and they did have to pull my truck far enough forward that the tires on the one corner of the trailer were touching the ground again before they would actually hook the tow truck up. But I wasn't about to try to move the truck at that point anyway, because I had a feeling if I had moved the truck, it would have made it worse. So I let them do it. It cost me more, but in the interest of keeping the truck in one piece, yeah, I think I made the right call. Hey, Gail, can you find the paw prints? It's an emoji that is paw prints, just like what you see posted up above a little bit here, or these. I'm about to post them for you. Here you go. Where are they? There they are. There's one. I'll send one. There you go. I'm sending you a paw print. So those are the paw prints. We use those heavily in this channel, and when we go to other people's channels, we'll represent and we'll put the paw prints out there. And if you follow Mud Pig, you put the piggies out there too, and just represent everybody. The paw prints just means, hey, we were here, we've already been here. You're late. There you go, Gail. Good paw prints. Good paw prints. Serenity, yes. Yes. I've got people really close to me in my life cannot understand why it is I still do this, and how it is that I still love doing this, or for that matter, why it is that I spend more time doing this than anything else all year long. I mean, if you really think about it, If you averaged it out over the last 10 years, I bet you I probably am only home about 15 days a year. The rest of the time, north, south, east, west, doesn't matter. I mean, there are some states I won't go into anymore. New York, I'll go through northern New York because I do like it up there, but I won't go anywhere, which cuts me out of a lot of states back there, unless I go through northern New York and drop back down, which is a lot of extra mileage. Going to the go anywhere near Chicago. And when I say Chicago, I basically mean Illinois. I will cut across the very bottom of Illinois into Missouri, or into go from Missouri into Kentucky or something like that, or just cross the very bottom of Illinois out there by St. Louis. But I won't go into Illinois any other way. Montana because they don't pay very well. You can get paid really good to go into Montana, but you can't really find anything that pays to come out. Same thing with Florida. I love going to Florida, but good luck trying to find a load to get out of Florida. I'll take a load into Louisiana, but then I'll have to drive hundreds of miles out of Louisiana to get a load, because everything in Louisiana is always like 46,000 pounds, and I can't carry that on this truck legally. I'm too heavy. Because this truck was built heavier to begin with, and then the frame has been stretched so it's even heavier. Plus I added a motorcycle box, which makes it even heavier, which reduces I can carry. So I try to stay around 38,000 pounds or less when it comes to what the freight weighs. That way I'm sure that I'm not going to be overweight anywhere. Please get around me, please. Thank you. Good Johnny Cash on the back of that. Yeah, Man in Black. Get me back up to the speed limit. There we go. Got past him. Back to lane 2. Back to lane 2. Yeah, the mountains are pretty in upstate New York. As a matter of fact, she's in assisted living now, but all my life she lived in Syracuse, New York. She was in my great grandfather's house in Syracuse. My great grandma, I never met my great grandfather. He died before I was born. But my great grandmother, I did meet her a couple of times before she died, and now my great aunt is in assisted living. So the family house there ended up being sold finally. Like them and share them and subscribe, definitely. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. Also, have my Cash App there, silly. You still have my Cash App. That's $ Black Wolf Chris, which is spelled CHRIS. So it's Black Wolf Chris with a $ in front. That's my Cash App. If anybody feels like donating to the live stream, you know, maybe help me get a little bit better equipment, I don't know, but you know, I'm not really asking, I'm not expecting anything. I'm just going to do my thing. If people choose to donate to it, that's great, it'll help, but you know, if you want to put that up there too when you're telling people to like and subscribe and share, that'd be great. Add that to it. Been to the bike week in New York. I didn't even know they did one there. You're right, I might have to go with you one of these days. As soon as I dig myself out of this hole I'm in financially a bit right now, I'll be looking at purchasing another bike. Yeah, if I come down to Florida, we'll do that. Problem is, if I come to Florida, yeah, I'll get paid really well to come in, but then I could spend a week or two just trying to find a load that I can afford to take to get out. Either that or I end up having to go anywhere from 600 to 1,200 miles away from out of Florida to find a load. So usually if I come to Florida, I end up there for at least a week anyway. Yeah, and silly. Any donations are appreciated and welcomed. You know, they're appreciated. I mean, I don't expect anybody to do it, and it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me any if they don't, and you know, it's kind of a surprise if they do. I'm not worried about it. But you know, when people get like what they see, you know, they tend to want to tip somebody or give them a gift of some kind. That's fine, you know. I'm not above that. I you know, but I'm not going to sit here and beg for it either. So you as a moderator, you have the ability to constantly put that out there for me and just kind of remind people what it is, so that if they ever chose to, they've got it sitting right there. They can see it and they know what to do. Thank you for doing it, and I appreciate it. Riding through cow fields now. All right. Or 3, 4, 5 weeks. Oh my. You know, you know, the road is an addiction. So when I sit somewhere for at least 3 days, I'm already itchy to get back out on the road. So yeah, 3, 4 weeks, I'd be so, I don't know if you would need a spatula to scrape me off the ceiling. I'd be going bat crazy. what's your predicted temperature this weekend over there in Florida? Back to lane 1, losing lane 2. Moved up there 2 years ago, okay. You know, one of my aunts is actually living down there in Florida right now too. She and my uncle, they have a house in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and live up there. And now my aunt is almost always down in Florida. I don't know exactly where because I haven't asked, but yeah, for the last couple of years she's been down there most of the time. Well, yeah, I can get a load that'll get me into Florida. The problem is finding loads to get out of Florida. It doesn't matter how long you search in advance. The further in advance you search for a load to get out of Florida, the more likely things will get messed up. Like the load might cancel in the meantime, or the load you're on might cancel that would get you there. Or you break down, or the delivery for your load ends up stretched out because they didn't take you that first day because of something, you know. Anything can make it change. Plus, the further in time forward that you are from the date. So, like, if I'm going to be in Florida on the 15th, and I start looking on, say, the first of the month, right? I start looking for a load that comes back out of Florida on the first of the month. If I book that load, I'm going to get that load for the cheapest rate possible out there, which is not good for me. I need to wait until it's almost last minute so that price of that load has gone up, which, with the way Florida is, that almost never happens. It's a completely different thing when dealing with the freight industry. Dog needed to walk. So if you're from Massachusetts, do you drive like a masshole?